the webcam and then immediately disappear. Hi, I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show, where we watch old 16mm films and show them to folks like you. I'm going to move away from the Boba Fett curtains and show you a little bit more of the equipment and the neon, the clown, the YouTube trophy plaque, I guess, and then a painting of the club. I guess we watch more than just 16mm films here. So that last film was People Who Live in the Mountains, and that was from the Mogul Brothers collection. And was the mountains the Alps? I think that's what they were. Let's stay over in that part of Europe-ish with this cornet film about the Rhine. Enjoy.
The Rhine River is one of the largest rivers in Europe, one of the great rivers of the world. For 800 miles, it flows through the heart of Europe, an important part of European geography and history. The lives and activities of people in 4 nations are directly affected by the waters of this mighty river. The Rhine River begins in Switzerland and flows generally in a northward direction about 800 miles to the North Sea. Part of France borders on the Rhine. But for most of its length, the Rhine flows through Germany and then through the Netherlands to the sea. 3 of its large tributaries are the Moselle, the Main, and the Ruhr. By its tributaries and a system of canals, the Rhine is linked with most of Europe and also the surrounding seas, by canal to the Danube and the Black Sea, by canal to the Rhone River and the Mediterranean Sea, by canal to the Loire and the Atlantic, and by canal to the Marne and the Seine, to the English Channel. Let's look at the Rhine itself more closely. The river begins in the Swiss Alps in high mountainous country. Starting at its source in the high Alps, let's trace the Rhine quickly through its 3 parts: Upper, Middle, and Lower Rhine. Here, near its source in Switzerland, the Upper Rhine is a fast mountain stream. Then, flowing generally northward, it broadens out as a beautiful mountain lake, Lake Constance, between Switzerland and Germany. At Basel, Switzerland, this marker indicates 3 nations which border the river at this point: France, Germany, and Switzerland. Farther along, the river valley is wider. This region, which is heavily wooded, is the famous Black Forest of Germany. At Mannheim, still moving northward, we enter the Middle Rhine. Much of this part of the river flows through a narrow river valley. At the city of Cologne, or Köln in Germany, we enter the Lower Rhine. Much of this part of the river flows through level land to the sea. Flowing past the historic city of Cologne, the Rhine is broad. From this point northward to the sea, the Rhine is a vast waterway of commerce. Flowing through the Netherlands, the Rhine reaches the sea. And so, from seaports in the Netherlands to the mountains of Switzerland, the Rhine is an 800-mile waterway of major significance to Western Europe. But the river is more than a transportation route. The Rhine River represents 2,000 years of Europe's history. It has been a boundary and a barrier for peoples and nations: Romans and Teutons, Franks and Saxons, French and Germans, This statue representing the German nation stands overlooking the Rhine, the river so important in German history. The Rhine has affected not only people of the past, but it affects millions of people today. Let's see how as we take a trip down the Rhine. We'll see the upper Rhine first, starting at Basel, Switzerland. Basel is a river port at the head of navigation on the Rhine. Barge traffic carries goods 800 miles between Basel and the sea. One of the products shipped on the river is wood. Lumbering is one of the ways people make a living in the heavy forests of the upper Rhine region. Here, too, wood is carved by skillful craftsmen into clocks and other items to be sold. The upper Rhine is also a region of small farms. This is part of a wooded region called the Black Forest, named for its dark-colored evergreen trees. This is quaint and colorful country. Sometimes traditional costumes are worn. In this land, people have been living for many centuries. Roman ruins along the upper river remind us that the Rhine was once a frontier of the Roman Empire. We find more history on the upper Rhine. In Strasbourg, France, these old houses on the Rhine stood through the French Revolution. Strasbourg is also another river port. It connects eastern France with the industrial cities of Germany and the seaports of the Netherlands. On its long journey northward to the sea, this barge from Strasbourg, France, will leave the upper Rhine and pass through the middle Rhine between Mannheim and Cologne, Germany. Here the Rhine flows through beautiful farm country, the wine country, the country of legend, story, and music. The people here are fortunate in living in a productive land with a mild climate. On the steep, terraced hillsides, grapes are grown in great quantities. Most of the grapes are used in making world-famous wines. Yes, the Rhineland is a beautiful country which Germans have always loved. And not only Germans. Tourists come from many countries to see the Rhineland. Landmarks on the Middle Rhine include many castles and the Lorelei Rock, which was immortalized in the poem by Heinrich Heine. Almost every town or village along the Rhine is connected with a historic event or personality. In the city of Worms, this statue of Martin Luther reminds us of the important religious events in Germany's long history. The city of Mainz is proud of this statue of Johann Gutenberg, the inventor of the printing press. The historic castles on the Middle Rhine are a reminder of medieval times, when barons of the Rhine plundered the passing merchant ships. Farther downstream, this modern bridge crosses the river at Bonn, Germany. After World War II, this city of Bonn became the capital of West Germany. The government buildings can be seen along the river. Not far from Bonn is Cologne, the Rhine city famous for its cathedral. Cologne Cathedral is a striking symbol of the Middle Ages. North of Cologne, barge traffic increases as we move toward the city of Düsseldorf. With Düsseldorf, we are in the lower Rhine. From Düsseldorf northward, we'll see great industrial cities and ports. The lower Rhine flows through Germany's great industrial region. Here, more people are engaged in heavy industry than in farming or other activity. Just north of Düsseldorf, the Rhine is joined by the Ruhr River. This is the industrial heart of Germany, the Ruhr region. Most barges bring in metal ores and other raw materials to supply the factories and mills that have helped make West Germany a leading industrial nation of Western Europe. There are great plants producing industrial chemicals, largely from coal tar. The coal tar comes from coal, which is very plentiful in the Rhine-Ruhr area. Here is coal for smelting ores and powering factories. These miners are among the many industrial workers and city dwellers who live in the Rhine-Ruhr area. This new community is an example of recent housing developments. These families are a part of the new industrial Germany. North of the Rhine-Ruhr region, barges move through the flat country of northern Germany. Here the Rhine is bordered by farmlands once again. North of these farms are meadows and canals of the Netherlands. It is the waters of the Rhine that fill many of the canals in the Netherlands. Moving northward through the level Dutch farmlands, we are approaching the North Sea. Rotterdam is one of the largest seaports of the Rhine. The people of Rotterdam can think of the Rhine not only as a highway into Europe's interior, but also as a gateway to the oceans and the nations of the world. We saw something of the importance of this river to countries of Western Europe. We saw some of the many cities along its banks, and we also saw Rhineland farms and industries and commerce. We can better understand Western Europe by knowing more about its greatest river, one of the important rivers of the world, the Rhine.
All right. Where am I? Where'd I go? There I am. So many tabs. Have a lot of tabs open here in OBS, which is a wonderful open source software that works great until it doesn't. So yesterday I showed a film that was choosing a classroom film. I was talking about basically how one chooses a film to show in a classroom, which was essentially an ad for Young American Films. And they showed The Snob, which I don't have a copy of, but it's part of a series that I absolutely love, which is ones that are open-ended, where the students are encouraged to come up with solutions to these problems, of which The Outsider, The Bully, not The Practical Joker, I can't remember the title of that one. But anyway, so I did digitize this for the Prelinger archive and put it on archive.org. So here it is, The Snob. Enjoy.
Expression x to the 9th minus 3 squared. Come in. Hi, Mom.
Hi. Still working so late? On Friday night?
This is my last algebra problem. I'll save my history until tomorrow.
Sarah, your father and I appreciate the fact that you take your schoolwork seriously. But, well, couldn't you manage to arrange your time so you could have a little fun, too?
I have a certain amount of homework to do, and I like to get it done on time.
But you have the whole weekend. You could go out on Friday night or have somebody in.
Like them? Is that what you mean?
Having a good time is all I mean. And that's why I talked to Ron's mother the other day.
You didn't? Well, I suppose you fixed it so he'd have to invite me over.
I might have, if it had been necessary. But I found out that those Friday night get-togethers are open houses. You could go.
I know I could if I wanted to. I don't.
I think you should go. You're only young once, and
Mother, don't be so corny. There's nobody over there I want to see. I think I better finish my algebra.
Of course, dear. We'll talk about this some other time.
I come back to you going to pull a pass.
I so too. Glad to have you.
Okay, Ron, thanks. Take it easy.
Your friends are certainly a nice bunch, Ron.
Yeah, they're the greatest.
Do you suppose they'd like to help you do something really nice?
What do you mean, Mom?
Well, how about being more friendly to Sarah Inman?
Sarah Inman? Oh, Mom.
No, really, dear, I mean it. Now, you could invite Sarah over here next Friday to join us.
Ask Sarah to come over here? Oh, gee whiz, why?
Oh, don't you want her to come?
No, I don't particularly want her. Sarah Inman.
Now, Ron, you know we've always said that all of your friends are welcome here at any time.
Well, I know, Mom, but, well, the idea just kind of grew. We've got a large game room, well-stocked refrigerator, and lots of good records. So the gang started drifting in here on Friday. Nobody needed to be asked, but Sarah never came. She's too high hat for that. She wants a special invitation, and if she gets it, it'll be just one more reason for her to think she's better than anybody else.
Now, look here, Ron. Years ago, when you had rheumatic fever, don't you remember who it was who came over here every day and read to you by the hour?
Well, sure, Mom, but well, she's changed since then.
Oh, no, Ron, I don't think she's really changed. Why don't you give her a chance?
Well, she was good to me once. I guess I can ask her to honor us with her presence. I'll call her tomorrow.
Thanks, son. You know, growing up brings different problems to different people. And some, well, they just don't quite bring it off without falling down somewhere.
Well, if you ask me, where Sarah fell down was when she went into junior high. Well, when she was in grade school, she was swell. She made good grades and had lots of friends. But when she started going to junior high with lots of other sharp kids, well, she couldn't be a big wheel. Now she's in senior high and, oh.
Oh, it's too bad. It seems, well, you know, it sounds like she needs a friend.
You're nominating me? I don't know. She may cut me dead. She does lots of other people. And I don't think she cares at all.
Her Highness has a new sweater.
Ooh, it's luscious. You've got to hand it to Sarah. She certainly has good taste.
The way she acts, you'd think nobody else did.
She'll hear you. That's an awfully pretty sweater, Sarah.
Well, don't speak. Were you talking to me? Never mind. Hear nobody, see nobody, talk to nobody. That's Sarah, Snob. No wonder she had any friends. Say, and Maxon made secretary.
Yeah, Jerry made vice president.
President Bill Tyler. That's great.
Hey, congratulations. Hey, Bill made president. Jerry made vice president and Maxon made secretary.
What's all the excitement?
Oh, it's the results of the election for next year's student council officers. Bill Tyler made president. Hey, let's get on the flight. Sure, okay. I'll see you. I suppose you don't think Bill's the best man for the job? Oh, that girl. She's just sore because we picked Bill's design for the yearbook cover instead of hers. Let's go to class.
know you shoot us all out of the kitchen, but I don't mind drying dishes. Besides, I wanted to talk to you, Pumpkin.
You did?
You're so quiet during dinner. Something's bothering you. Care to cry on my shoulder?
Daddy, there's nothing to cry about.
Not one little thing?
There are lots of little things we could talk about. But it wouldn't do any good.
I'm waiting.
Oh, all right. You'll think I'm silly. Well, this morning, when I came to class, I was worried about the history test first period. I was going over it in my mind, and somebody spoke to me. Nancy Yeager. I didn't hear what she said, but she looked at me as if she just hated me. I worked hard on the history test, but I flubbed it. I know there are lots of people in there that don't study half as hard as I do, and they come off with the A's. I'm smarter than they are. I know I am. Last week, I worked just hours and hours on a design for the yearbook cover. Bill Tyler handed in just a blotchy sketch. I couldn't see anything to it. But his design is going to be on the yearbook cover. It isn't fair. This afternoon, Ron from next door called and invited me over Friday night. I had to say yes because Mother's been pressuring me, but I don't want to go. Bill Tyler will be there, and I don't like him. President of Student Council. All the kids that get by on apple polishing will be there too, and I don't like them.
Pumpkin. I'm sorry you don't like so many people. Friends are important in this world. You should encourage others to make good and not dislike them for it. I think maybe your mother's right. I think you should go to Ron's get-together this Friday. Try to like people for whatever they are.
That's all the dishes. I can clean out the sink.
Okay, Pumpkin. Just one more question. All these people you don't like, aren't they happier than you are? Aren't they happier than you are? Aren't they happier than you are?
For you. First choice goes to our new president.
Look at them, playing up to it. Bill Tyler, big man. Everything he does is too clever. Makes me sick. I'm just as good as he is. No, I'm better. He'll get no playing up from me.
I didn't know which was going to wear out first, me or the music.
What are you going to play next, huh?
Why, we're going around show it.
Hey, how about it? You want to dance?
I'd rather not.
Well, you want to sit and talk then?
I'd rather not. Not with you.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad.
Oh, are you satisfied?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You really froze him out, didn't you?
I don't know what business it is of yours if I don't want to dance.
Well, I think you did want to dance. You wanted to dance, all right, but you just couldn't pass up the chance to be a snob. What's the matter? Sarah? Sarah, come back.
I can't.
Why not? What's the matter? Can I do anything?
No. Oh, Ron, they're so mean and hateful. They don't understand anybody who isn't one of their gang and doesn't do all the silly things they do. They don't understand.
They didn't mean it. Isn't there something I could...
The snob, hurting everyone, herself, her parents, her friends, other people. What makes Sarah act the way she does? Is it a cover-up for some lack she feels in herself? Can a friend like Ron help her in any way? Is the group justified in judging everything Sarah does as snobbery? What do you think?
In the Centron universe, which this film was made, Sarah appears in another one of these films called The Outsider, where she is the outsider and has similar hang-ups about socializing. So I think it's really kind of fascinating that they cast her as the snob as well. I think it's because she can pull it off. Is it Jim? I can't remember the name of the guy. Like I had his name and then it popped out of my head. At the end when he came up and said, like, you know, hey, what happened? What did we do? He shows up in Innocent Party and he passes venereal disease onto his girlfriend when they have premarital sex. So, two amazing cast of characters in the Centron movie universe. Really kind of awesome. Big fan. Let's see. It is that time of year. And Centron, again, steps forward with information on how to winterize your home. Enjoy.
This is Elroy, feline in residence at the Gary and Rita Holton home. It's December 5th and a nippy 41 degrees outside. But by the contented look on Elroy's face, it's obvious the Holton home is comfortable. Yes, mighty comfortable, and there's a reason. You see, last summer, the Holtons decided to weatherize their home. To understand insulation, Gary and Rita found they had to relate to a new term, R value. The R stands for resistance. Heat is energy, and it's always moving from warm to cold. On a cold winter day, then, the heat in the home is trying to get out. And it will unless the house is insulated. Why? Well, because the insulation resists the escape of heat, and the resistance is measured in terms of R values. The higher the R value, the greater resistance to heat flow. Gary's overhead insulation was R11. Now, how did he know that? Well, he and a friend measured the cellulose fiber insulation already in the attic, and on the average, it was 3 inches deep. Cellulose fiber has an R value of R 3.8 per inch. 3 inches, then, is R11. You get that by multiplying the inches times the R value per inch. 3 inches by 3.8 equals 11.4. Or rounded off, it's R11. There are two other blown-in materials, rock wool and fiberglass. Rock wool has an R value of 2.8 per inch, and fiberglass is R 2.2 per inch. They're all good insulators, but you must know their R value. Gary was shooting for an R30 in his attic. A heat-holding R30 calls for 8 inches of cellulose fiber. It was simple arithmetic then to subtract the existing 3 inches in the attic from the total 8 inches to arrive at an additional 5 inches that Gary and Rita would have to blow in. Gary made sure the insulation he bought met local fire codes. The label contains all this information. Blowing insulation into an attic is a 2-person job, great for husband and wife teams. Rita feeds the blower and Gary handles the business end of the hose in the attic. Insulation requirements vary across the country, so check with your utility, Department of Energy, Extension Service, or heat supplier for the necessary R value in your area. This whole process drew one interested observer, Elroy. Nobody said it was a clean job, and that's why Gary wears the face mask. And here's the finished job. A good 8 inches of cellulose fiber, which adds up to a reassuring R30. The Holtons used a 6-inch fiberglass bat for an R19 in their floors. This material is abrasive, so wearing a face mask and gloves plus a long-sleeve shirt is important. Gary's tools were few. With a sharp knife, measuring tape, stapling gun, and cutting board, he was well equipped to fence in escaping heat with a thick fiberglass barrier. Admittedly, Gary was fortunate to have a 4-foot crawl space under his house. Most homes have only 2 or 3 feet, sometimes as little as 18 inches. Gets a little cramped at times. Gary found insulating floors was basically a job of measuring, cutting, and fitting. Also helps to be fussy. You have to look for nooks and crannies that may expose floors to cold air. Gary's cutting board was simple enough, just a piece of lumber from the scrap pile, and his straight edge, a length of 1x4. Watch how Gary began this job, because this is important. He didn't just stick the blanket between the joists, but rather brought it up to the top of the end plate before stapling. That blocked off cold air coming through the plate from the outside. From then on, Gary merely pushed the insulation into place, and the puffy fiberglass stayed put. Temporarily, at least. The fiberglass blanket wouldn't stay there long, though. Soon it would sag and fall down. So that's where a handy little item called tiger teeth came into play. Gary just bent the wire, the tiger teeth, between the beams, and that's all it took to hold the insulation in place permanently. There are several other suspension methods Gary could have used. He could have laced wire back and forth, or used a plastic mesh, or a heavy-gauge chicken wire. The motto here could be, don't squeeze the fiberglass. The more fluff the material has, the better it insulates. Squeezing insulation literally squashes out R value. This R19 insulation should put to rest any problems the Holtons had with cold feet from cold floors. How do you insulate an exposed beam ceiling? With great difficulty has been the answer up until now. Gary and Rita, though, opted to use a new product, a fiberglass thermal ceiling panel. This furring strip anchors the panel to the one beam. Then the Holtons hoisted the fiberglass into position, and additional furring strips were nailed in to anchor it. Insulating a home saves energy and it saves money. But don't forget the comfort factor. Living is so much more comfortable in an insulated home. The thermal panel has a textured vinyl surface on its facing side. It's not a wood surface. But Gary and Rita still have the exposed beams, and their roof is insulated. Probably the simplest job Gary did was to turn down the 2 thermostats on his hot water heater. First, though, he turned off the power, and that's mighty important for personal safety. Gary turned his hot water heater down to 120 degrees. Then again, some people with dishwashers may prefer 140 degrees. A quick and easy turn of the screw does the job, from 155 degrees to 120. Then Gary wrapped the heater in a warm envelope of insulation. Like a tailor, Gary measured the size, then cut it to fit. It's kind of a baggy pants operation, though, because loose fitting, not tight fitting, is the name of the game when wrapping a water heater. There's a blue mark on the floor. It's in line with the thermostats. Gary put it there so he'll always know right where to locate them, even though they're covered by a thick layer of insulation. Gary would be lost without duct tape, but nothing does a better job of holding the pieces together. When finished, every square inch of the heater is covered. It's wrapped in an overcoat. With a gas or oil water heater, it's important not to cover the vent or chimney. One last major job was insulating the furnace cold air ducts. The material, beadboard. Each sheet is an inch thick and has an R5 value. Gary found a serrated knife was his best cutting tool. The mastic, the beadboard, all the insulating materials used by the Holtons in their weatherization campaign came from the local lumber yard. As Gary put this panel in place, you'll notice he held the beadboard already up there with strips of duct tape until the mastic dried. He removed that tape later. This insulation job looks great, and it certainly slows down heat loss. Well, that's how the Holtons did it. Their home is snug and comfy in the wintertime thanks to some definite action on the insulation front. Let's peek in on some others who are battling the spiraling costs of energy. A vapor barrier under a house is an absolute must. It doesn't insulate or weatherize, but it does just what its name implies. Forms a barrier to keep the moisture from traveling upwards into the house. The ground under Rochelle Bagley's house appeared dry, but wisely she went right ahead with putting down a vapor barrier. Although the moisture can't be seen, it moves upwards as a vapor, increasing moisture in the home atmosphere. The more moisture in the air, the more energy it takes to heat the air. Rochelle uses 4-mil black visqueen, which works fine since the visqueen is not exposed to damaging sunlight. Clear visqueen would work well too. It doesn't hurt to stay in touch with local codes since some areas require 6-mil visqueen. The object here is continuous coverage. Where joints are required, the visqueen is overlapped a good 6 inches. To be sure she gets the maximum benefit, Rochelle taped the joints. She could have used rocks or sticks to hold the joints from slipping. She again used duct tape to seal around the posts. Well, how about wood frame storm windows? We caught Jerry Bieberly in the act of making some for his house. Again, it's not difficult. One caution, though. For the required snug fit, Jerry did take precise window measurements. It's always a boost to have a helper like Arnold Petrie. Let's face it, though, a helper like Bentley the dog, you don't need. Wood joiners clamp the boards together. Jerry will glaze the wood frames with transparent 8mm vinyl. He double-checked when buying it that it had an ultraviolet inhibitor. This keeps it from breaking down in the sunlight. Now, this material will last for years. A 4mm visqueen is cheaper, but it can deteriorate in less than a year. Just does not have the lasting power. The window can be held in place by nails or by a turn button. Any method of securing the window is fine as long as you can take the storm window off in the spring for reuse year after year. Heating ducts that run through the unheated parts of a house, such as an attic, garage, or basement, should be insulated. Unless they're insulated, they can waste more heat than they deliver. Basically, then, you're paying for more heat than you're getting, and that is no good. Insulating pipes and ducts can cut down on the annual heating cost by as much as 10%. Judy Beaverly uses a system similar to Gary Holton's water heater wrapping. The same 3-inch R11 batting is wrapped loosely around the duct and held in place temporarily with duct tape. Just to be sure the tape doesn't loosen, Judy uses a light gauge wire to secure the wrap. Sharon Krause zeroed in on the windows. She took them out of the casing so she could really get at them. She chipped out all the old putty. Dried out material that chips that easily may somehow hold the glass in place, but certainly won't hold heat in or cold out. As you can see, Sharon just wailed away with her putty knife. Still, she was careful not to crack the glass. To condition the wood, Sharon swabbed it with linseed oil. It's a way of putting oils back into the wood. Then it's new glazing compound, and the windows are spruced up and ready for the winter ahead. The escape of heat through these windows has virtually been cut off. These cracks and joints may not seem important, but they combine to raise heating costs and cause chilly drafts. Notice how Sharon kneads the compound in one hand and applies with the other. Think about this. In a newly constructed home, if all the cracks, crannies, holes, and gaps that allow heat to escape were put together, you'd have a hole that you could throw a basketball through. One of the most cost-effective things a person can do is caulk all the cracks, joints, holes, and any other little bitty crevices you can find. This includes around the frames of windows and doors, at corners where sides join, along the top of the foundation where the wood frame meets the masonry, and where pipes and wires enter the structure. What kind of caulking compound? Acrylic latex caulk does a great job. It lasts well, especially better than oil-based caulk, which dries up and falls out. Butyl caulk performs nicely at points where there may be movement, such as around pipes and wires. It has an elastic quality. Caulking is one of the most cost-effective things you can do to weatherize. May not save the most total energy, but research has shown that it's at the top of the list in paying for itself in energy savings. Normally, within the first year. Back to the Holton home, let's see what weatherization did for them. Energy savings? You bet. Floor insulation dropped annual kilowatt-hour losses by a whopping 2,413. Even Elroy got interested enough to inspect this job. Ceiling insulation, both blow-in and thermal panel, yielded a total 1,920 annual kilowatt-hour savings. So it's cold December outside, but there's no way you can call Elroy a cool cat. No, sir, you're looking at a warm, comfortable cat. Even if you don't have an Elroy in your life, weatherize your home to conserve energy, to save money, and to increase comfort.
Elroy and Bentley for contributing to that scintillating film about winterizing your home, or weatherizing your home. What's interesting about this is this, and this is why I like watching films like this, is why did this couple care? Why did this family care about doing this? It's because heating oil and energy costs were expensive because of what was happening with the cost of oil. And this was made in 1980, so this was one of the reasons I think that Reagan was elected, was because people were feeling beat up by energy costs by OPEC. And so this was one way that they could take back control of their lives by making their houses airtight, which had its own problems, of course. But fascinating nonetheless. So the 80s. How many of you were alive in the 80s? Please write in the comments who was born in the 80s and remembers the 80s. I was a child of the 70s. So the reason why I ask is behind me I have a film set up, and it's actually a series of commercials from the 1980s featuring people that you might recognize. So let's enjoy some TV commercials from the 1980s, and there's probably some jingles in there that you can sing along to. Enjoy.
I'm budget director for the Taylor family. Tough job, because I want what's right for my family, and that means quilted Pampers for Judy. I've tried almost every diaper made. Know what? For the same money, you just can't buy a drier diaper than Pampers. Look, Pampers lining is quilted. It helps keep wetness away from baby's skin.
Pampers. Your mom's always thinking about you, Judy.
Quilted Pampers. For the same money, you can't buy a drier diaper.
Mix.
Where's the fire, boys?
Hey, just a practice run, Rosie. Oops.
No wonder you guys wear raincoats.
Oh, get something quick.
Relax. Bounty starts quicker.
Wow.
So you finish quicker.
Quicker than other towels?
Yep. Watch. A top challenger against Bounty.
Hey, Bounty starts working a lot quicker.
Right. Bounty starts quicker.
So, you finish quicker.
You bet your suspenders.
Ouch!
Bounty's the quicker picker-upper. Starts quicker, so you finish quicker.
Now you can grill a steak indoors, 47 stories above the city.
How do they do that?
Electronically.
There is no venting to the outside or even a hood.
Where does the smoke go?
Goes inside.
With the new Gen Air ventless grill range, smoke and grease are pulled down inside the range and removed electronically.
I still don't believe
The new Anywhere Gen Air. It lets you grill indoors anywhere, and only Gen Air has it.
I'm stepping in my spinners, bust around spinners, my good time knock around shoes. Bust around spinners, my new suede winners, 2 fun colors to choose. There's spinners in your size and free spinner bike guys just for walking into the store. So give your feet a little treat, and bike guys are neat. Get your bust around spinners at your favorite store.
Music 60.
Start out his day in a special way. Be there at 3 on the dot. Put in new ribbons when you braid her hair. Little things mean a lot.
The little things I do for my family really do mean a lot. So I care about everything that touches our lives, like white cloud.
White cloud?
Uh-huh. I can't buy a softer bathroom tissue.
So?
Well, white cloud's more than soft. It's made of 2 full, fluffy plies. And you know 2 are more than
1.
And watch this. See?
Wow.
White cloud's the most absorbent. Softness, fullness, and absorbency. They're all little things that add up to white cloud quality for this family.
Mom. White cloud, because little things mean a lot.
Ralph, why'd you buy these?
They're cheaper than Bounty.
You goof, Shorty. Bounty absorbs more, so it can be a better buy.
Prove it.
Okay, watch. A penny's worth of Bounty against a penny's worth of an average bargain brand. The cheaper brand just can't absorb as much. But even wet, that penny's worth of Bounty's still absorbing.
So I did goof. Bounty can be a better buy.
Bounty's the best way I know to save dough.
Place is nice Bounty. Nice catch, 6-3 by 6-181.
There it is.
Good out of here.
Hey, Mike, pass some milk.
Coming your way, Gordy.
Nice catch, Gordy.
Rosie, I never miss.
I think you just went into a slump.
Get something quick, Rosie.
Catch this, Gordy. Bounty starts quicker.
Wow.
So you finish quicker.
Hey, you mean only Bounty works that fast, Rosie?
It has to with all the big league bumblers like Gordy around here. Come on, I'll prove it. A top challenger here and Bounty here.
Hey, Bounty starts working a lot quicker.
Like I said, Bounty starts quicker.
So you finish quicker. Gee, that's great.
And now Mike will show us how strong Bounty is.
Huh?
Mike, put that pie on here.
Boy, that is strong. We're convinced, Rosie. Bounty's the champ.
Around here, it's gotta be.
Hey, Rosie, catch.
I never miss. Bounty's a quicker picker-upper. Starts quicker, so you finish quicker.
We were working the Katy mine that day when we saw him standing in the entranceway. He was a tobacco-chewing workhorse, a man, yes he was. And his chew was the longer-lasting workhorse brand.
The longer-lasting flavor of workhorse keeps on coming through, so a man can keep on doing what he's gotta do.
He was a tobacco-chewing workhorse of a man, yes he was. And his chew was the longer-lasting workhorse brand.
Truth is, any chainsaw will cut down a tree. Question is, how many trees will it cut down before it breaks down? Steel chainsaws are built tough, with the most durable alloys and high-powered engines. Even the same type of cylinders used in race cars. Because a saw that's built stronger will last longer.
We were working the Katy mine that day when we saw him standing in the entranceway. He was a tobacco-chewing workhorse, a man, yes he was. And his chew was the longer-lasting workhorse brand.
The longer-lasting flavor of workhorse keeps on coming through, so a man can keep on doing what he's gotta do.
He was a tobacco-chewing workhorse of a man, yes he was. And his chew was the longer-lasting workhorse brand.
Don't! You'll ruin your new shoes. Gee, you sacrificed your new shoes just for me.
Should I tell her I'm wearing Totes? They're Totes loafers, one of Totes' newest styles. They look like shoes while they're protecting my shoes. And they're so tough, if they don't last me 3 full years, Totes gives me a new pair free.
Thanks, honey.
Totes loafers, a smart way to protect your shoes.
Totes?
A great gift.
I really move around when I play the fiddle, and my hair moves right along with me. That's why I use White Rain hairspray, because it holds my hair beautifully. Tried more expensive sprays, but why change? Nothing works better for this country girl than White Rain. And White Rain costs 25% less than the leading hairspray. White Rain, beautiful hold at a beautiful price.
The owner of a new Jacobson RMX riding mower is very smart. Its unique design means he can catch clippings right in a trash can, which others wish they could do. He can maneuver easily and trim closely, but once people see his Jake, they want to borrow it. So a Jacobson owner has to be more than smart.
Okay, where's the...
He has to be very clever.
Finally, a robot to stop ladies from squeezing Charmin.
Don't squeeze Charmin. Don't squeeze Charmin.
Charmin's doubly fluffy, doubly irresistible.
Don't squeeze. Fluffy. Squeeze Charmin. Squeeze Charmin.
Squeeze.
Squeeze-Ac's right. Charmin made the ordinary way might not get squeezed, but Charmin's doubly fluffy. It's so squeezably soft.
It's doubly irresistible.
Don't squeeze, Charmin. Don't squeeze.
They call it gold fever, and it gets a hold on you. 'Cause once you've had a taste of gold, nothing else will do. Discover gold. Discover gold.
Discover RJ Gold, the mild chew and plug in a pouch that's so fresh and good, they call it gold.
Once you've had a taste of gold, nothing else will do. Discover gold.
Boom! Rickety! Rickety! Mom!
What's wrong?
My uniform doesn't have that fresh smell it usually has.
But I just washed it.
And it used to feel soft.
She noticed you didn't use Downy. There's a big difference without the softener. Downy rinses in April freshness, skin-loving softness, helps rinse out static cling.
Ah, that fresh smell's back. Feels great, too.
I'm using Downy again.
Yay, Mom!
Now aren't you glad she notices?
April Fresh Downy.
June 24th, Maxwell House window, revised 2 Nunu.
Hey, honey, what's that? Maxwell House Master Blend coffee?
It's the ground coffee that can save us money.
But how does it taste? That means it tastes like Maxwell House.
Maxwell House Master Blend, 100% pure ground coffee. Not concentrated, not flaked. We make it a special way so you can save money.
Great coffee.
Maxwell House Master Blend, great tasting coffee that can save you money.
Sound 1 Wizard, Barney 2, 32nd, April 18th.
When you barbecue something this expensive, don't take a chance on ruining the taste. Use Wizard Charcoal Lighter, and you'll taste the food, not the fuel. Wizard Charcoal Lighter starts quickly and burns off clean in minutes. So Wizard won't ruin your meat with an unpleasant taste. All you get is the natural charcoal broil flavor. So don't take a chance on ruining a great piece of meat. Get Wizard, because with Wizard, you'll taste the food, not the fuel.
Is sinus driving you crazy with pressure, congestion, mean sinus headache? Want more than aspirin or cold capsules? Take a U-turn to Sinutab, extra strength Sinutab, with the most sinus headache pain reliever per dose without a prescription. 54% more per tablet than standard sinus remedies. Helps relieve pressure and congestion, too. Take a turn to relief, a U-turn to extra strength Sinutab, the #1 selling extra strength sinus pain reliever.
With my daughter away having the baby, I thought I'd save her money and buy bargain tissues instead of puffs.
Hey, where's my puffs?
Achoo! Grandma, these aren't puffs.
Was I wrong? It pays to buy puffs. They're so much softer, less irritating. That's the value the whole family notices.
Ah, soft. The puffs are back.
Just in time. Puffs. The softest is the better buy.
We were working the Katy mine that day when we saw him standing in the entranceway. He was a tobacco-chewing workhorse, a man yes it was. And its chew was the longer-lasting workhorse brand.
The longer-lasting flavor of workhorse keeps on coming through, so a man can keep on doing what he's gotta do.
He was a tobacco-chewing workhorse of a man, yes he was. And its chew was the longer-lasting workhorse brand.
I'm stepping in my spinners, bust around spinners, my good time knock-around shoes. Bust around spinners, my new suede winners, 2 fun colors to choose. There's spinners in your size and free spinner bike guys just for walking into the store. So give your feet a little treat, and bike guys are neat. Did you bust around spinners at your favorite store? Chase away things that go bump in the night. Fix a toy right on the spot. Helping a big girl get ready for bed. Little things mean a lot.
The little things I do for my family really do mean a lot. So I care about everything that touches our lives. Like White Cloud.
White Cloud?
Uh-huh. I can't buy a softer bathroom tissue. Feel. But White Cloud's more than soft. It's made of 2 full fluffy plies. And you know the 2 is more than
1.
And White Cloud's absorbent too. Watch.
Wow, it is!
The most absorbent. Softness, fullness, absorbency. They're all little things that add up to White Cloud quality for this family.
White Cloud, because little things mean a lot.
My wife sent me shopping. I figured no one would notice if I bought bargain tissues instead of puffs.
Hey, where's the puffs?
Honey, you didn't buy puffs.
Did I goof? It pays to buy puffs.
Puffs is so much softer, less irritating. That's a value everyone notices.
Soft. These are puffs.
Puffs, the softer.
Is the better buy.
With my daughter away having the baby, I thought I'd save her money and buy bargain tissues instead of puffs.
Hey, where's my puffs?
Achoo! Grandma, these aren't puffs.
Was I wrong? It pays to buy puffs. They're so much softer, less irritating. That's the value the whole family notices.
Ah, soft. The puffs are back.
Just in time. Puffs. The softer is the better buy.
They call it gold fever, and it gets a hold on you. 'Cause once you've had a taste of gold, nothing else will do. Discover gold. Discover gold.
Discover RJ Gold, the mild chewing plug in a pouch that's so fresh and good, they call it gold.
Once you've had a taste of gold, nothing else will do. Discover gold.
No one knew where he came from. No one seemed to know his name, but that didn't matter, 'cause he lived up to his claim. He was a tobacco-chewing workhorse of a man, yes he was. And his chew was the longer-lasting workhorse brand.
Workhorse chewing tobacco. It's got longer-lasting flavor for the hard-working man.
And his chew was the longer-lasting workhorse brand.
Down to an Ultra pool. 32nd, June 16th. Non-new.
Beautiful Artra skin, exquisite, enchanting, until a dark spot happens. Artra Skin Tone Cream helps fade away dark spots, even out skin tone, smooth in beauty, exquisite, enchanting, beautiful, beautiful Artra Skin. Artra Skin Tone Cream, available in normal, oily, and dry skin formulas.
My wife sent me shopping. I figured no one would notice if I bought bargain tissues instead of puffs.
Hey, where's the puffs? Honey, you didn't buy puffs.
Did I goof? It pays to buy puffs.
Puffs is so much softer, less irritating. That's a value everyone notices.
Soft. These are puffs.
Puffs, the softest.
Is the better buy.
There's the 80s for you. Smokeless tobacco, chewing tobacco ads for White Cloud toilet paper and Puffs toilet paper, among others. And, you know, this is a interesting thing I noticed when I was digitizing 10,000 TV commercials for the Duke University AdViews project, is that a lot of things in the 80s were about defining what a good mom was and doing as much as they can to kind of poke holes in that sense that I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom because I take care of my kids. I pay attention to my kids. But, you know, in trying to budget for the house and trying to actually have money for a savings account so that we can save up for a better car, I am trying to go with budget brands, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it because puffs are not soft enough, and the kid in my family notices. The fabric softener that I used did not make the fabric that soft for my teenage daughter, and so now she's having issues with her self-esteem. You know, it's over and over and over again. And, you know, so mostly what we digitized were from the Benton and Bowles ad agency. And they did Procter & Gamble, everything Procter & Gamble. And so Pampers, we saw the beginning of the Pampers commercials, like the very, very beginning in the 60s up to the 80s. And it was all like poking holes in, like, you know, the anxiety that young parents feel. And like, am I doing the right thing? And no, you're not doing the right thing because you do not have Pampers for your child. And that child's, you know, basically the bottom torso of their body is on fire because you have not purchased Pampers. And that is over and over and over again. It's all about the insecurities and just poking at those insecurities. So, anyways, it was fascinating to see that many of you never saw advertising for smokeless tobacco, for chewing tobacco, because yes, in the South, inundated with it. Absolutely. With snuff, with tobacco that came in little cans, like Kodiak and all the other brands. Oh my God. In my high school there was all these dip cups where people, like dudes, they'd put a little pinch and then would spit in the dip cup and they would leave it place is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in today. Thank you for donating. Somebody new to the channel donated via the super thanks button, and I very much appreciate that. It's Grandma's Gaming Channel. So thank you. And you can also donate via the super thanks, because we will go out and buy. I won't buy a budget brand toilet paper here. I will buy something like White Cloud because I love my family and I'm a good mother. But you can also buy us coffee by going to ko-fi.com/abgeeks or patreon.com/abgeeks. That money will go to either buying coffee or towards buying hard drives or buying new plastic cans that are archival that allow for some air to breathe in the cans. You can also hit the like button, the thumbs up button. How about hitting the like button every time you saw a leader lady? There were so many in that. It was really phenomenal. Somebody asked, why was it upside down? Well, the point with leader ladies was for people that were processing the film, and it was at the beginning or the end of a film print, and they would just look to see, they could do tests to see, like they knew what that frame was supposed to look like, so they could calibrate it accordingly. And it didn't matter if it was upside down or not, which is why it's 50% of them are this way, 50% of them are this way. What else? Have a great weekend. We'll be back again on Monday. Everybody take care. As always, we love you guys watching, and we will see you soon.